Now, the Noongar Wongai man, Joshua Eggington, is a rapper and MC from Boorloo, Perth, probably best known as one half of the father-son act Flewnt and Inkabee.
Respect, heard the sound, loving the pause, underground.
Then I dropped, are you ready for this hip-hop takeover? More iconic bars than Mozart and Beethoven.
I see him talking in the back like they glowing.
We hear him talking on the net like they blowing.
I guess what they really saying is the movement growing.
But they ain't knowing what's beyond
Brass game over.
For anybody with the thought to contest, that do the calibers.
We the best, give us the checks and all the money to flex. Yo, this the next step.
Somebody give it a rest like
We the ones to let you know that we the ones to rock your show.
So good. Now, Joshua, aka Flewnt, also uses his platform as a rapper to mentor troubled young people at West Australian youth detention centres. He and Inkabee are in Sydney at the moment for a very special Vivid Festival performance at the Sydney Opera House tonight. He joins us now in the studio. Flewnt, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Now, rappers, if you're rapping together, there's always a bit of a bond, I can see. But when watching you and your son rap together, I'm just struck by the connection between you. He's now 12, but you had him when you were very young, didn't you?
Yeah, I was 16 and he grew up around music, around me, sort of like finding myself as an artist, and I guess he's just been around it for so long, and watching him grow through that process and then him becoming an artist just made the bond extra special.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
Tell us about the show itself, because it's a real family affair, this one.
Yeah. Well, so it's booked as Flewnt and Inkabee, but we're also bringing out JJ Vacant, which is my brother, Inkabee's uncle. He's 19, so it's really going to be exciting. You're going to see, like generations, of hip hop and different perspectives of life from Indigenous men. Our stories being told, and you're getting like a whole generational story, and you're gonna hear like just heaps of really like cool live music, and we're gonna be like, heaps of energy, and it's gonna be hectic. So we get pretty lively, and young Inkabee can hold a stage quite well, and so can I.
He's 12.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah,
It's taken like one day off school to go and perform at the Opera House.
Just other side of the country.
Now, tell us about the stories that you draw on for your music, because you've got your own stories of struggle, but you also mentor young people as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I work heavily in my community with young people, particularly with incarcerated youth, and I guess that kind of gives me inspiration to push through and see the power of hip hop, because we use hip hop as a therapeutic tool in these places, and kind of seeing the value that it has amongst these young people, and their ability to have control over something in a place where they have no control. It's just so powerful.
Tell me how you introduce that as a therapeutic tool. I'm really interested in how that becomes so powerful.
Well, I mean, hip hop is birthed from a black struggle over in New York. So with all these
Bronx
young,
in the 70s. Right?
That's right, and all these young people who straight away connect to hip hop as a culture. Hip hop is bigger than just rap. It's a culture, and bringing that in and having it almost, one of the ways that we use it quite powerfully is with young people with language, being able to connect them back to our language, to whatever that might be, Noongar, Wongai, Pindara, whatever language that is, using hip hop as a way to be able to connect them back to language. So okay, we're going to rap, but we're going to switch it up and use some language here, and there's all these different sort of amazing things that we're able to achieve through hip hop. It is just the conduit to all the things that these young people need.
Now, off the back of your mentor work, you've just returned from the US, I understand, for the hip hop edition of the International Visitor and Leadership Program, which is a huge, very highly respected program. Tell us about your time there.
It's just life-changing. Like, honestly, I couldn't have just had the bigger and better experience than what I did. It was just insane. Going to New York, the Bronx, and seeing the home of hip hop, the birthing grounds of where this all started, and actually feeling that, and then having that power kind of like to be able to bring that back home and walk with strength, and knowing that I've learnt from some of the pioneers. I've met them now. I have these connections internationally that we can we can almost say for certain we're moving with in the right path.
What is it you hope your legacy will be through this sort of work?
I guess I just hope that young people have the tools to be able to continue this sort of work for generations to come, you know. Whether or not my name's directly attached to that, that doesn't matter as much. I think it's more about that I know that I've done all the work I can to be able to arm these young people with the strength and the tools and the resilience and the understanding that they can share this amongst our community and amongst our people.
Brilliant. Flewnt, all the best with the Sydney Opera House to you and Inkabee, and all the best for the future as well. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys so much.
Appreciate it. Have a great time.